Thanks for visiting the patient weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather stress forecast for March 27, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a patient weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our patient weather storefront do support the activities of patient weather. Looking at the weather map for Friday, you can see that we've had, on Thursday evening into Friday, a rather classic cold front really pushed through most of the country. By Friday, it will be lingering in a line from Austin to Atlanta back up to Charlotte with high pressure, massive high pressure, pushing down the plains, and low pressure still continuing to push into the Pacific Northwest. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of the individual weather elements that may cause some kind of weather or health stress, you can see we do have that little bit of low pushing into the Pacific Northwest, but what we have in main part of the country is post-frontal activity stretching all the way from Colorado and New Mexico in a line northeast across the middle Mississippi Valley into the Ohio Valley, all of the middle Atlantic states, even the Great Lakes states, and all of New England. Looking at pressure change, pretty much a mimic of the post-frontal activity, except in the Pacific Northwest, lots of falling pressure across Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and across portions of Montana. But you'll see the post-frontal rising pressure stretching all the way from West Texas, Big Spring, from Albuquerque back up into Denver, and up actually into the area of South Carolina, the plains, and again northeastward all the way through the middle Atlantic states, the Great Lakes, and up into New England. So the massive swath of country, all of the heartland, leaving only the southwest and southeast untouched. And looking at temperature change, you can see the results of the frontal activity we've been talking about, rising temperatures only in the Pacific Northwest, and that's with that low pressure center, but a massive cool down stretching all the way from South Texas to Denver, and then northeastward across the heartland, all the way through the middle Atlantic states and up through New England. Looking at the change in dew point, again reflecting that same issue of post-frontal activities, but notice that we're already starting to see some increase in the rise in the dew point temperatures on the back side of that low down in the Four Corners. And again, that's reflected in the vapor pressure, where we're holding on to some moisture here in southern Florida, and then moisture trying to stream back up into the high plains. Looking at our change in oxygen availability, and it too mimics both the pressure change and the frontal activity, although we have that risk of asthma and arthritis. A little bit different as it covers the central inland portions of California, picks up sharp across northern Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and actually touching down into portions of eastern Wyoming. Note also we have that risk of asthma and arthritis up and down Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. Then back to the migraine threat or the risk. Again, we start with the South Texas, West Texas, up through New Mexico and Colorado, and then northeastward across all of the plains, but actually picking up the upper portions of the upper Mississippi Valley, and then through the Mississippi Valley itself, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, all of the middle Atlantic states from North Carolina north, and then all the way up the eastern seaboard from the Virginia area right through New England. And that picks up all of the Canadian cities from Windsor to Quebec and on into New Brunswick. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're